If you're going through a phase in life at the moment where you're not sleeping very well, try and do this yoga sequence for a few nights in a row, about an hour before you go to bed, and see if it will help. I'm going to lead you now, bring your feet together, through a few poses to open up the shoulders and the hips, put some stretch and length into the entire body, bring your arms up overhead, that will hopefully help you kind of lie with more ease as you hopefully drift off to a good night's sleep. Grab your left wrist, lean over to the right. Look a little bit up here, just a gentle gaze. Don't feel like you've got to come into a huge bend either. Inhale, come up, grab the right wrist and lean to the left. Put a little squeeze in your legs. Look up gently. Inhale, come up, and then interlace your hands behind your back. Draw your shoulders back. Gently press your knuckles to the floor and lift your heart. Don't try and do the best ever back bend here. Just open up your heart a little bit. Squeeze the muscles in your upper back. Lower your chin, release your fingers, and then come down to the floor. So bend your knees, bring your fingertips down, your knees down, and bring your bottom to the floor and the soles of your feet together. Bring your hands behind you and lift your chest as you press your feet towards each other. And again, we're not doing a sequence here where you're trying to improve any poses, deepen, or be ambitious in your practice. This is all about the therapy of helping you to get better sleep. So be calm, watch yourself when you find yourself maybe trying to stretch more, and just be kind to yourself. Then from here, lean a little bit more over onto your right hand so that you can pick up the left knee and bring your leg into this position. Now, if this is really tricky for you, then feel free to get a block or a blanket and put it underneath your bottom. Coming up a little bit with your pelvis will help this pose. But if your bottom's on the floor, well, maybe you don't need it. Bring your arms up and twist towards your right. Bring your left hand onto the outside of the right thigh. Just a gentle twist here. Try not to lean over, and do make sure that there's softness around your shoulders. Come back to center. Bring your hands down to the floor and just bend the elbows a little bit here, coming into more of a forward fold. And again, if this is hard for you, just stay upright. As you inhale, come all the way up. Bring your hands onto the floor behind you. Now bring the soles of your feet to the floor and change legs. So now the left leg is bent like this, like in tree pose, and the right leg out to the side. We call this half virasana, half hero's pose. Pick up your hands and twist towards the left. Slightly gaze down here. You want to kind of dim the headlights of your gaze here. Try and keep your breathing smooth and even and calm. Turn back to center. And then again, the possibility of a forward fold here. So bring your hands down and really do press them down, and possibly bend the elbows a little bit here as you lengthen out the lower back. Put a little squeeze into your knees and press your feet down. Inhale, come all the way up. Now if you're sitting on a block, get off the block now. So bring your hand to the floor, lift your bottom, take the block away. And I want you to use the block here to open up your chest. So come out of this zigzag position and put the block on its lowest setting. And if you don't have a block, a book is good, so that you can bring your mid-upper back, so just at the point where the bottom tips of your shoulder blades, onto your block. You're going to keep your knees bent the whole time, feet on the floor. And interlace your hands so that you can hammock the weight of your head. Make sure your upper back feels nice and stable on the block here. And let your head rest in your hands. If your hands come down to the floor, that's fine. You might want to just gently press the elbows a little bit more towards the floor here. Take your time. I'm going to stay here for about 3 or 4 more breaths. Push your tailbone towards your heels and make those breaths nice and smooth. not too long, just steady in your breathing. Okay, then from here, pick your head up, look towards your knees, bring your elbows to the floor, pick up your upper back, hold the block in your hand as you come back down again, and pick your bottom up. And put the block underneath your lower back this time. Draw your left knee in towards your left shoulder and lengthen your right leg long down the mat. And let this straight leg be relaxed. Let the foot turn out. There's no ambition here. Release the left leg, bring the right knee in, lengthen your left leg long. And again, relax that straight leg. And draw the right knee into a comfortable angle. Relax your hands and your shoulders as much as you can. Then release that knee, bring your foot to the floor, and then the other foot. Pick your bottom up so that you can move the block away. Now, coming into eye of the needle pose, pick up your right leg, turn the knee out to the side. Now you can keep your left foot on the floor here and just stay like this. Or pick up the left leg and interlace your hands behind the back of your left thigh. So you've put your right hand through the hole that you've made underneath that right calf. Try and lie evenly on both sides of the lower back and relax both of your feet. I think sometimes when our hips are a little bit more flexible and have a more even flow of energy through them, it's easier to sleep. You can lie more comfortably, and the body perhaps is a little calmer. Release your hands, bring the left foot to the floor and then the right. Pick up the left leg, interlace your hands underneath the back of that right leg. And do make sure, and I know we all know this, but sometimes we don't do it, make sure that you're not looking at any screens. You're not going through YouTube, Facebook, Instagram for at least an hour before you go to bed. And if you're not very aware of your self-discipline, you find it difficult to do that, turn off your devices and put them in another room so they're not so easy to get to. Then release your hands, bring the right foot to the floor, then the left. Widen your feet right to the edges of the mat. Turn your palms up and drop both of your knees over to the right. Inhale, bring your knees up, and as you exhale, drop them to the left, like a windscreen wiper action. Let's do that again. Inhale, bring your knees up, and as you exhale, move them to the right. Inhale, bring your knees up, and drop them again over to the left. Now bring your knees up. I've been looking quite a lot recently at the notion of asteya, which means non-stealing. And apart from it being the obvious, not taking material things from other people, not stealing other people's time, you also don't want to steal time from yourself. So that scrolling through social media, looking for the next video, the next interesting thing, you're stealing quality time from yourself when you do that. Not just barraging and stimulating yourself too much before going to sleep, but also stealing good time away from yourself. Try and do this yoga class and then nothing else. Read a book, maybe talk to a nice, positive friend, and then go to bed, lights off, and hopefully your body will feel great after a few days, or maybe a few weeks of doing this very simple sequence. Now roll over onto your side and come up to sit. Bring your hands into your heart. Lower your chin. Pause here for a moment and really notice how you feel. Perhaps recall how you felt before you did these poses and compare it to how you feel now. Bring your hands onto your legs. Raise your chin and open your eyes. Namaste. Good night, sweet dreams, rest well.